IVF, this is not coming from a place of insensitivity. It's easy for you to say, well, this church people have come again and they are saying a lot of things besides they don't have children themselves. That's not what it is. What is bad, what is good, irrespective of the intention. Life begins at fertilization, and fertilization is that fusion of sperm and egg, even if it happens in the petri dish, in the laboratory. So why would we reduce that value that it should be given to life to just a production? So it is the case that some people would say it is God that gives the life, doctors only combine the gametes. No. If we believe that life begins, and I say believe not as a matter of faith, but as a matter of science, it is scientifically proven that life begins at fertilization, the fusion of sperm and egg. So based on that, some people will now say, well, but the knowledge to do that is actually from God. That is correct. But the knowledge to produce nuclear weapons, who is it from? Does it make it correct? Don't get me wrong, I'm not equating IVF and nuclear weapons. I'm talking about the knowledge that God has given. The fact that God has given us a knowledge does not mean we can use the knowledge for whatever it is we want to. God has given us this knowledge, that is correct. But the way and manner we use it also need to be tabled on objectivity and right reasoning. And IVF falls into that category. So it's not enough to say the knowledge about the procedures are from God himself. So it is really important to have these general discussions around it and get to understand what really goes on, how difficult it is, how immoral the means is. But in all of this, what is really important to hold on to is the fact that there are ethical, morally sound alternatives to IVF. And they work. I know that personally. I've said that in the first video. One of it is called the NAPRO technology, and another video will be made on that. We also have, of course, the fertility education and medical management, FEMM. We have adoption, which is excellent. We have many other alternatives. So it is not enough to say that I must do the IVF. No, there are other means and they work. You will be surprised to know that NAPRO technology works even better than IVF. But of course, it's not the kind of thing that we hear all the time for only God knows whatever reason. Having said all of this, I think it's again important to reiterate that if you are suffering from childlessness for whatever reason, know that your pains are felt. Know that God's will should be the solution. I'm not saying you should remain childless. It is a beautiful thing. I was born into a family. I'm somebody's child. I know what it means to have that joy of having your own child or children. But I'm also of the opinion that if you are going to do that, it should not be done in a way that is not pleasing, rather, to the giver of that gift. A child is not a right. A child is not just anything to just get from production or manipulation. A child is supposed to be received as a gift. And there are means to do that that do not have any moral issue or immoral issue, as the case may be. So, it's important that we pay a lot of attention to everything that has been said. And there are alternatives, like I've said. But please, as much as possible, stay tuned to this channel because many more things will be said about this, especially the alternatives to IVF. I'm talking about the NAPRO tech, the FEMM, and all of those things. And then, more importantly, especially for those who are suffering childlessness as we speak, there is a need for accompaniment. You are not being ridiculed, you are not being condemned if you are having to suffer childlessness. There are solutions and the work. And I think it's also very important to quickly say this. A child born from IVF does not make the person less a child, does not in any way reduce the dignity. The problem is not with the child. The problem is with the means. So if you are listening to me right now, and for instance, you were born through IVF, it doesn't change anything. You are still that special being that you are. You are loved and you are awesome the way you are. It is the case that for those who are probably thinking about it, let us establish that this is not the right way to go. And there are better means, there are better alternatives, and they work. So, having said all of this, I encourage you all to stay tuned to this channel, The Moments with Padre Joe. Reach out to me also through any of the social media handles. You can go to my website, in which case we get to have the accompaniment that is necessary, especially if you are going through, this phase of childlessness. It is not just a biological thing. We as human beings, we are body, mind, and spirit. Irrespective of your religion, we are body, mind, and spirit. And if you're going to seek a solution, it will be sought along those lines.